Very much in the same way as we have 4 commands to run when we are creating the logical volume, we happen to have 4 commands that we should run when we're extending a logical volume. So we need to mark then our partition as a physical volume, so our PV create. We then need to extend our logical volume to include the new physical volume, so VG extend. And then we need to extend our existing logical volume. So if we say we're running out of space on our data volume, or data underscore LV, whatever we've called it, then we can go through and extend it. With this we use plus rather than just putting in the size. If I went through and used -L and then 1000 meg, we'd be increasing it really by 250 meg because my size that I set before was 750 meg. So don't forget the plus symbol. Really what we're saying is we're adding in the extra space. Don't forget that we can use the VGS command to show how much space we have available within our volume group. Having extended the logical volume, it hasn't touched our file system. So we can then go through and resize our file system, and with the extended 4 file system that we're using, we can use resize to FS. I think we're going to need to see this, don't you? So let's jump back out to our file system right now and take a look at this. So yeah, we're working then on the command line of the CentOS 7 machine. You can see we're right back where we left off. So we're going to run then our pv create command and then /dev/sdc1. Then we can run a PVS for our physical volume scan, so we can see then that we've got SDC1, SDB1 and SDA2. And when we're looking at this, we can see then that SDC1 isn't used anywhere at the moment. We can also go through and extend our command a little bit. And this way, it's not the normal Linuxy thing. It's a little bit longer, this command. And in many respects, we're getting more output. So it's really turning Linux onside its head. And I really don't quite know how to deal with this. I expect a long command to give me short information and a short command to give me long information. But either way, we can get some method of reviewing how our system is being used. We can then go through and look at our VG extend, so our VG extend, and here it's going to be volume group 1, and we want it then to include /dev/sdc1. With that in place, we need to extend then our logical volume. So we can then go through and run lv extend -L, and then we're going to include, let's say, just +1000 meg. We can use an uppercase or lowercase m, it doesn't matter. And then /dev/vg1 and then data lv. So that's extended the logical volume. But when I go through and look at df -h for the free space then on /data, then we can see that it shows the dev mapper being there, but its size is still just 725 meg. Of course, we've got to resize the file system. So we then run our resize. Let's just move this to the top to fs and then /dev/vg1 and data lv. So now when we go back and look at our free space, we can see we've increased that now to 1.7 gig. We can see the space used have gone up a little bit because we actually store the metadata across both disks by default. There are options to not do that, because you can imagine if I started adding in 5, 6, 7 disks, then the duplication of the metadata is going to be unnecessary. So we don't have to extend the metadata, but certainly on small volume groups like this, it's certainly worthwhile sticking with the defaults. With this in place, now let's drop back into the slides and look a little bit more at our volume group management.